Let me tell you very frankly, farmer is the biggest scientist, and unfortunately,
Right.
that scientists have stopped thinking, and new ideas are not coming in the industry. Every year, management is giving target how to reduce the cost. So how it comes? You will have to think breakthrough ideas. You list down 10 ideas. It may 9 may be useless, but even if one idea is clicked, it will turn the table. It will be breakthrough.
A Sankarshan Joshi trip.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Sankarshan Joshi trip. The reason why I call my episodes a trip is because it is an experience, it is a journey. And on this episode, on this trip, we have Rajesh Gaidhani. And this man quit a well paying corporate job to start his farming business and to do well for the farming community. He he promotes sustainable organic farming, and he conducts workshops. He talks to a lot of farmers, not for money, just to promote the concept of organic farming. He does a lot of work to uplift the Indian farming community, and he is a man of wisdom. And I am pretty sure that you're gonna love this episode. So, Mr. Rajesh Gaidhani, thank you so much for deciding to do this. I am very, very pleased to be talking to you today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Shankar.
It's so you're here for the first time, and can you give us a quick background about yourself so that people will understand where you come from?
Uh, my name is Rajesh Gaidhani. I belong to Bhandara district of Vidarbha region in Maharashtra. I am graduate engineer and I work with Ashok Leyland for around 26 plus years. I joined as a junior executive sales and marketing, and in my service period I was promoted and upgraded to the level of senior divisional manager sourcing and supply chain. And as I said, you must be aware that this Vidarbha region of Maharashtra is unfortunately known famous for farmer suicidal killing. And after I parted my MNC job during 2013, and my journey, farming journey, real farming journey started in my second inning.
Okay.
It was my passion. It was my passion, and while working with Ashok Leyland, I used to move across the country. I used to interact with the people of various metros and throughout the country. And when I used to come to my native, I feel it was little disconnect. So metro cities and all big cities, it was a shining India. But when it comes to the villages and these farming communities, it was not really shining. It was some pity India. But I can only feel pity, but I can hardly help them. But even though it was my farming was my passion, since I was working with private organizations, it was hardly difficult for me to do something for this farming community. But it was my dream. That dream comes to reality. I could look after my passion after I parted, and it started from 2004.
That's that's really great because for you to take a leap of faith, quit a well-paying corporate job to start and to step into a world of farming which is so uncertain, as we all know. And like you rightly mentioned, there are so many deaths of farmers in India, and there is a stigma around farming, right, that it doesn't pay well enough. So what was the inspiration for you to quit that well-paying job and take that leap of faith and enter into the farming business?
In while working in the organization, our HR people always say that social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, and various organizations used to look up. Some social responsibility I should take, and I really work for 26 plus years. So I feel that okay, let us do something for society for rest of 10 years. Because when I parted, I was 48. So I feel that okay, it's the right time. And it was my maiden try to do something for my farming communities. And as you said, there are various issues in today's farming. It is very difficult. If you tell somebody that yes, farming, he will definitely discourage, because everybody knows it's not a profit making business. There was a lot of perception in the mind of people, and definitely this anger. My worry was everybody was coming out of this farming. Our India is the country where around 50%, 60% people are associated with farming. And if everybody start living, and if everybody start moving to the cities, who will cultivate food for you, and how you will get the food? I'm really worried what is going to happen after 2030, 40. This should stop. But also the problem is that whenever you go to villages and you interact with any farmer, he says that no, I will not allow my son to continue my farming because it's loss making. That is what they are sure. So that was the picture, and which needs to be changed. And unfortunately, all educated people have come slowly in last 50 years. All educated people have moved away from the farming, and that was the real cause of it is not like that all educated people start moving to the metros and big cities and urban cities. And these educated people start migrating from farming, and that is the real cause of concern for agriculture.
Right. So this causes a lot of problem, right? Like including food adulteration. So like you rightly mentioned, farmer's son doesn't want his son or daughter to get into farming business, right? So they want them to study, they want them to have a well paying stable job. So if farmers kids are not going to be farmers, then if the number of farmers reduce, plus the human population is increasing, right? So the demand is increasing, but the amount of the quantity that is being produced, if it's reducing, to fill that gap, people will start using a lot of adulterants, right? They'll start using a lot of chemicals to meet that demand.
Yes. Because what happened in revolution, the same thing happened. In 70s, remember that in 70s, same thing happened. But unfortunately, few things have gone wrong. It was a need of the hour in the 1970s. So green revolution started. I'm not saying green revolution was not required. Yes, it was required because today also you need to feed all the 130 crore people. How you are going to feed? So unfortunately, what we does in the farming, we use excess amount of chemicals, and in 50 years our soil or farmland slowly it has lost its fertility. So we developed a model. Someone has to demonstrate the model that yes, farming also can be sustainable. It can also be a profit-making business, like industry. In industry, we analyze what has gone wrong so that we can improve upon. Accordingly, after I parted, I worked out around 6 to 8 months. I discussed with different people. I visited KVKs. I visited this Krishi agriculture department and try to understand what is the reason, so that from where to start. I took around 6 to 8 months to develop a model, and on which I will have to work upon. Another was one serious matter was concerned that our soil fertility has gone down like anything in last 40, 50 years. Organic carbon, which measures the soil fertility, it should be close to 1. When I check the soil organic carbon it has come down to the tune of 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. As against 1, it's a Registan. And if this continue, after 10 years, that soil will be a dead soil, and dead soil cannot produce anything. So that, as you said, since our population is increasing, our demand of food also will increase. So for that oil carbon soil fertility should go on increasing, whereas it is reducing because of areas of concern. As I said, these were the areas of concern, and why we need to come out. That also I said yes, we need to come out because this farming industry in the rural areas it has got a huge potential. It can make our villages self-dependent, and it can give employment to tremendous capacity. So that we developed the model model of sustainable farming. And what we does there, how to get maximum advantage of this Gaustuti, how to take maximum advantage of this Vriksha Ayurveda. All these ancient things I added in my model,
Right, right.
sustainable farming.
So what you're saying is you incorporated sustainability into the farming with the help
Yes,
of Gau Kripa, which means cow, and the byproducts of cow. And also you were
yes,
talking about something interesting, which is Vriksha Ayurveda. And
yes,
I'd
yes.
like to hear your point of view on these two things separately, because these two in itself are so immense in terms of the value they add, right? So with in terms of cow products, I mean, if you're in India, like everyone knows that how much one values cow and their products, right? Like there is some element of spirituality that comes with it, and it also translates into the value that cow byproducts brings in, right? So how did you incorporate that, and like what aspects of cow byproduct will you use into your farming?
Oh, okay. Before that, I would like to tell you more about the sustainable farming.
Yes, yes,
So,
please.
what I mean as a sustainable farming. Sustainable, I don't mean sustainable farming means farmer is sustained, his income is sustained, or customer's interest is protected, or country's interest is protected. My real idea and my real thought toward the sustainable farming is each and every individual of the farming activities should be interest of each and every stakeholder should be protected. It is not only farmer, it's direct and indirect laborers who is involved in farming, service providers of this farming industry. It includes fertilizers and pesticide people. You need to protect the interest of them. After crossing that, these are the also the society's interest should be sustainable. Apart from that, I also say that who are the other stakeholders? It's a nature, air, water, soil. It's also part of farming. They are also the stakeholders. Even after crossing that, small to the all creatures, including microorganisms, to the level of microorganisms, bacteria, are also the stakeholders of this farming. And in my model, I wanted to protect the interest of each and every stakeholders. That it doesn't mean that human should be get advantage out of farming and these bacteria are dying like. It has gone, unfortunately, this has gone wrong. I will not comment what has gone wrong, but I feel that yes, now hereafter, while we consider the farming, you must consider the interest of each and every stakeholder, including bacteria. We must do, we have to nurture the bacteria like earthworms are there, snakes are there, frogs are there. Every member of who are involved in the farming, we must protect the interest of each and every stakeholder, and then only that model can be called as a sustainable farming. And if with the model of sustainable farming, we can make sure. Also, I would like to add one point over there. When I designed our farming model, we distributed farming in two pillars. One is pre-harvest management, other one is post-harvest management. Both the things are important. Today, what is happening? Farmer says, suppose he is a paddy farmer, suppose he is a cotton farmer. He feels once my job is to cultivate, to prepare my soil, cultivate, harvest, and forget. Because this is my farm product is paddy, and I will just sell out the paddy and I will just forget. That is the area of concern. Unless until we address pre-harvest and post-harvest management, that farming as a cycle of this farming can be completed considering pre-harvest and post-harvest management. So in our model, we focus on both of the things, pre-harvest management and post-harvest management. And as you rightly said, this cow and all that, I will come to that also. I will just brief you on this. What are the things where our model is taking care on
Yes,
this
please.
pre-harvest management? So pre-harvest management is one very important critical aspect is soil soil. How to enhance the soil health. I will not go back. What has gone wrong, gone has gone. Now, my only focus how to enhance, how to improve upon. So soil health is the most critical factor as far as this farming commodity is concerned, because without soil organic carbon, it's a parameter which with the help of which we can measure the soil protein.
Right,
As
right.
earlier also,
Just to give
as
context,
that
I'm so sorry. I'm just cutting you off. Just to give
okay.
context to people in terms of like what went wrong in simple lines. Post Green Revolution, a lot of farmers incorporated chemical pesticides and all of that fertilizers into their farming, right? So excessive use
Yes,
of those chemicals in a way degraded the soil's quality. And in simple terms, I
right.
just wanted to mention that, and you can proceed. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No problem. Second thing, as you rightly said, and everybody said that okay, excess use of chemicals for the farmer community, you need to provide him the fertilizers as well as pesticide, because for any crop you has to have these fertilizers so that you can provide all nutrients, that nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and other nutrients which are 16 in numbers. So you need to provide to the soil. If you are saying okay, ban the chemical, if we ban the chemicals, but how crops will come? So we are addressing all these nutrients through natural and ayurveda in our ways. And the other thing, since I am to reduce the cost, we are demonstrating our farmer community to make this botanical extract and these biofertilizers at our farm, so that is no need to buy anything from market, because we are targeting reduction in cost. So when I worked out, I feel, because the labor cost, how to reduce the cost of production, because there are so I feel that fertilizer and pesticide is the area where there is a scope, because labor you cannot control, because you have to pay and labor charges. It is beyond the scope of control. Whatever these farm tractor and all that diesel, that you cannot. So what we worked out that yes, we can control the cost of fertilizer and cost of pesticides by making all these things at our farm, and that too biological, that too botanical. So this is the second point we are covering in our model in post harvest management. Then in post cost reduction, in post cost reduction, it can be it may be in the form of, if we reduce the quantity of seed rate, that is also cost of. So small things we are considering in our model, so that how to reduce the input cost. Because whatever cost you reduce, it's a profit you are. So farmers training, as I said, farmers trading is also very critical area, because as everybody knows, all educated people are migrating away from the farming. So what we does, we conduct lot many workshops. I visit lot many places. I conduct a workshop at my farm. If somebody calls, I used to go there. So I used to tell farmers, go on doing all experiments in farm as I'm doing. What will happen? It may fail. I used to take at least 2 to 3 experiments at my farm. I just consider what will be the cost, 10,000, 20,000, and I take a calculator. And let me tell you very frankly, farmer is the biggest scientist, and
Right.
unfortunately, that scientists have stopped thinking, and new ideas are not coming in the industry. Every year, management is giving target how to reduce the cost. So how it comes? You will have to think breakthrough ideas. You list down 10 ideas. 9 may be useless, but even if one idea is clicked, it will turn the table. It will be breakthrough.
It's so interesting that you say that like farmer is a scientist and he is a You talk about farmer as a creative person where he's trying to
Yes,
experiment with things in his farm to
yes.
get better yield, more in line with an entrepreneurial mindset, right? Like farmer, it's like he's a owner of his business, and he
Yes,
has to
yes.
look at his business as how corporate look at their business, right? Like jotting down finances, what is taking up too much cost, how do I reduce that cost, how do it's like the way you're talking about it, it just fascinates me, like your perspective on how you look at this entire farmer community.
Hey, smart. See, but then in that way, whenever you are interacting with the farmers, the way it should appeal. Otherwise, why when I goes for any meeting or addressing the farmers, what I ask them, kindly consider this farming as an industry. It's a business. I said you need to respect your workplace. Like other shopkeepers are doing. They are doing business. You are also, this is also industry. You respect your workplace, you respect your farm, and once you started respecting your workplace, respecting your place of work and your soil, it will respect you and it will give you tremendous way. You just cannot take it. So people, it appeals people. So that is the language I need to use. Also, I tell that okay, if somebody is doing business, he cannot continue losses for a couple of continually year after a year. So he need to correct it. He take the corrective. For that, he keep the accounting. You kindly start keeping accounting. Once you keep the start keeping accounting, you will know what has gone wrong, where I have gone wrong. So you can correct next year, and so you can take your farming as your business. So unless until you do it, where there are if you do it, there are the good chances to be a success.
Right, right.
Apart from that, in this pre-harvesting, we also tell people that you must have biodiversity as at our farm. And another thing we tell that yes, farming model should be integrated. You should not go for monocropping. If some farmer have more than 2 hectares of land, then we tell him kindly don't go for monocropping. Go for integrated farming. If you are cultivating paddy, please don't depend upon paddy. Okay, 80% of the area you can have for that main crop, which lasts thousands of years we are cultivating. But start accepting some changes, go for some additional like cultivation of medicinal crops, cultivation of horticultures, go for these other like fisheries, poultries. So don't be dependent upon a single crop. If one crop fails, you can have medicinal plants sometimes will give you profit. If that fails, poultry will give you some profit. So that is what we tell people. Go for this integrated.
Okay.
So this
So
is
So in finance, they say diversify your portfolio, right? Like don't put all your eggs in one basket and
yes,
put your eggs in different baskets. And from finance perspective, right? Like let's say if there is somebody who is an investor and who wants to make money, he will invest in money in different places. Like he'll invest in real estate, he'll invest in gold, he'll invest in stock market and different things. So I understand the perspective that you're coming from in terms of like farmer, if he depends on a single crop, then like if that crop fails, then he's at an utter loss. Is there any other reason, like is there any benefit that comes out to soil per se or to nature in terms of sustainability other than finance? Is there any other aspect, basically? Like
yes,
that's my.
sure. That is also see when you go for the monocropping, all these pest and insect. So they got suppose if I cultivate this season some paddy, some say paddy, and next year also paddy. I continue the same crop. All these viruses, all these pests and insects, they will find excellent house there. They will find excellent because situation is same every year, na? So they
Ah,
will not try to migrate it from. But if I change the crop, suppose if I because This pest and insect, if you'll see, for one family of crop, the pest will be same. So what we suggest, you change the if you are doing paddy in the month in the kharif, you in Rabi go for this chana and chana and these other crops which are not favored, which do not belong to paddy family. That means
Okay.
crop rotation. If we rotate the crop, it will, in terms of this paste, because the paste will get confused.
Yeah, yeah.
Till our 1970s and 80s, what our old farming was the same. They do something in Kharif, they do something in Rabi, so that this was useful for this crop, was useful for that crop was useful for this. But unfortunately, now we are going for monocropping, and which is also one of the reason why the soil organic carbon or soil fertility has gone.
Right, right, right. So it makes sense because you're not letting the virus, pests, or like bacteria to get adapted to it,
Yes,
right? Like if we are doing the
exactly.
same thing, then they'll get adapted and they'll sort of become immune to. They'll find a way to survive in that environment, right? And in a way, if you keep
Right.
changing the crop, then in a way you're challenging that aspect to it. And I feel like partly this is my personal opinion, like I didn't do any research on this topic. I feel that if there is a commercial crop which brings them money, and if there is a particular crop that a lot of consumers want, it sort of puts pressure onto the farmer to keep growing that, right? Like in America, in certain parts of America, they grow corn, right? Like just corn. And the amount of corn that they grow is crazy, and they do that throughout the year, and naturally it's not possible, right, to grow that much amount of corn and like that too throughout the year.
Yes, yes, yes. What you are saying is absolutely correct. And same thing has happened in India also as far as this wheat and paddy crop is concerned. Because see, in this market is driven, or prices are driven by supply and demand. If it is a bumper crop, then supply will be done. If there is a drought, supply will be reduced.
Reduced.
So, supply, it's a total game of supply demand which has gone wrong. See, today in the India have huge stock of this rice and wheat, because farmers are continuing as we are monocropping. They stop doing all these cereals and these oil seeds and everything. Everybody across the country, they are focusing because these are easy crops, paddy and wheat. So now the stock level has gone like anything to the extreme level. You come to any automobile industry, they will not, the moment they will see ki, yes, that they have reached to this level of stock, they will stop production. They will not allow your stocks, because it's also inventory is also cost. But unfortunately, farming, there is no coordination of the farmers of different states. So everybody is Karnataka is making, Maharashtra is making rice, growing paddy and everything. So there is no demand. Supply is fixed up. So that, because of that, if you stop producing rice to the tune which was produced last year, because there is no demand. And if you go for these oil seeds and these pulses and cereal, then definitely there are the two interesting things. That is, rice and wheat you are bringing down. That means supply chain you are letting, and also the oil seed which you are exporting from abroad, you are producing here. So you will get a rate for this. Also, you are rate for this to the this will be two advantages if we see look after the supply demand ratio.
The disparity, yeah, makes sense, it
Yes,
makes sense. Okay, so during the post harvest, so in your system,
yes.
you're trying to explain there are two parts. One is the pre harvest, and one is the post harvest, right? So
Post harvest.
in pre harvest, you try to educate, like conduct workshop to farmers in terms of like how they can reduce the cost, and mostly in terms of inputs, like what are the right chemical, like good way of using chemical fertilizers or like natural fertilizers or like natural organic pesticides. So this
Yes,
much I've gotten right. So are there any other
yes,
points that you cover?
yes, yes. So yes, yes. So this is a pre-harvest management, and with the pre-harvest management, we can make sure that yes, farmer is alive and land is live. These are the two vital things because as I said, in the total farming sector, if you see, we need happy farmers, wealthy farmers, happy society, and prosperous nation. So we have covered. We are if our model we are covering pre-harvest management. That means with the help of this, we can make sure that farmer is alive and soil is live. So now come to this post-harvest management. Post-harvest management, we cover this cleaning, grading, and primary processing of our product. So usually, I do not sell any product as harvested. I clean it, I grade it, and to the extent possible, primary processing and secondary processing. So I can fetch premium value to my products. So that is also important. Product branding. So now everybody says that product now people are not selling product, they are selling their brands. Like this Sahyadri farm of Nasik. They do not. They say that we do not sell our grapes. We sell Sahyadri farms grapes. So people are demanding for that. So nowadays, brand is getting sold, not your product. So we are slowly we are thinking of that whenever we encourage, we personally do, we wherever we go, we tell people try to make the brand. And for making brand, you need to do lot many homework right from your quality standards. That means your product, your farm should be organically certified. You must test your products for analysis, residue analysis. You should have these good agriculture practices certificates. Also, you should have the license. So all these things, if you do it, your product will have some brand.
Right,
It takes years because I took around 6 to 8 years to come to this platform.
right, right.
It's very tough, and but it is very very vital because you can.
Now that you're here, you will help other farmers, like you being a helping hand for other farmers to create their own brands. You spend 6 years, probably you can bring them to that state in probably 2 or 3 years, right? Because you experimented with all the rights or wrongs, and then now you know what's the right and the quickest way to reach where you reached.
Exactly, that is the point. That is why my intention is that you should not struggle because someone has to struggle. The people have set a very good examples. So we wanted to educate people, tell people that yes, this is our experience. These are the mistakes we have gone through. This was our cost of learning. But kindly don't waste the time. These are the standard mistakes. You should follow this so that a very good amount of time they can save up, and they have a very clear path. For us, at least for me, it was very tough job because I do not have much experience. So I used to go on talking to people, interact people, visit this thing, that thing, and I took. But I don't want young because lot many people are coming, young boys are coming as graduate engineers and all. I suggest them that these are the ways. Kindly follow this, and we are lagging in marketing. Yes, there is a lot many farmers are sitting in the villages. It is, producing is not much difficult. This after second, what most important is marketing and selling of the product. That is the very vital thing. So that is what we tell people, and we said that these are the if you follow this, you can have this better farming.
Right, right, right.
After that, marketing, as I have already explained, preservation also very very important. What is the preservation? Because it should be nowadays customer need all hygienic. We don't mind paying 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% also, but it should be hygienic, and that's a job of farmer. Or say that it's a group of farmers. It's their job to make sure that, and customer connect. Customer connect is also very, very important. We used to contact our customers. How we does we there used to be a lot of seminars will be there, a lot of exhibitions will be there, taluka level, district level, then division level, state levels. I used to participate last 4 or 5 years to all these things. Twice I had been to World Trade Center, Mumbai and all that. So that we, you can get, different customers will know you, say that yes, this person is doing this much of, also you would like to know the taste of the market. During 2017 till 2017, I used to cultivate rice, which was not a. But when I went to World Trade Center, everybody comes and he was just taking the aroma of the rice. I said that my rice has don't have aroma. Then I got the point. So fortunate now I stopped cultivating non-aromatic rice. All what I cultivate is all aromatic because I know the demand. It's aromatic for which I can get extra premium. So
Right.
by doing this, you can have this customer connect, and these are the ways how you can get your customer connected.
Right. Right.
And also one more thing is that farmer to customer directs. So avoiding the middleman. So we can have a group of farmers. We can have enablers in the big cities who can help them. We can they represent us in the metros because we cannot directly contact metro customers. They are our interface. They
Right.
help us on the, so like that. It's a customer to farmer. And this is our this our model of this. That means pre-harvest, post-harvest is completed, and that's our model of sustainable farming.
Right. 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 You know, one like what fascinates me out of all the things that you said so far is the systematic approach and the holistic approach of how you go about doing your own farming. And I think that your approach is dead on, like in terms, like you are thinking about this as business, right? There are a lot of aspects that you covered. One basic is the problem. What are the problems? You did your research on existing problems and you tried to solve the problem, and in the process of solving the problem you also did your market research by going to the World Trade Center, looking at what people want, like what are your competitors doing or what are other people doing it. So you observed that and you incorporated that into your own solution that you wanted to provide for the problem. Fourth is the marketing and how you are reaching to the end customer. You talked about customer relationship management, you talked about having a direct contact with the customer, talking to them and creating brand and creating brand credibility so that the customer will trust you. So you, the end to end systematic plan that you have, right? And you do a really good job of like explaining it to me and also explaining it to your fellow farmers in the workshops that you conduct, because I would really love for all the farmers to take this approach, because usually farmers are left in the dark, right? Like once their produce is ready, they give it to the middleman and their job is done, and they just pray for the Lord to and like pray the middleman to give them the right uh just money, right, that they deserve. And there is nothing that they can do about it because they've given the produce. The leverage is with the middleman, so he can either manipulate the market price by like the hoarding the goods in warehouse, or he can like lie to the farmer saying, you know what, this time our the market prices were too low. There is a disconnect between the farmer and the end consumer. So in your system, there is ownership of the entire supply chain, not just the production phase. So yeah.
Also, I missed one thing. See, during this course of the time, every state has got few things which are its traditional varieties. And looking at the in today's scenario, everybody is going for production, how to increase the production, but productivity. Everybody is behind the productivity. Nobody is behind the. So I urge people, don't look after the productivity. Look at what is your profitability for it. This traditional seeds. One variety is there in our Bhandara district, which is a aromatic rice, and it's very famous. Its name is Chinor rice, Chinor aromatic rice. During 2018, my father also used to cultivate, but very small. As I said, aromatic rice when I went to World Trade Center and all that. So when I did the survey of this rice, it was on the verge of dying. Nobody, because it was a very long duration, 155 days. It grows high up to 5 feet. So people were very not interested. I said, what has gone wrong? It can be done something. So I started cultivating, and 17, 18, 19, and during one of the workshop, which was organized by our member of parliament, I appealed this young fellow. He was listening. I said, if you cultivate this traditional variety, there is a huge scope for this. It's a traditional variety. It has got many nutritional values. There is a demand for this. He took my word. In the last 2-3 years, this variety has gone for GI registration, and or this GI meeting at this intellectual property Mumbai office. There was our interview. It has happened on 24th of November 2020. And if the GI is cleared, farmers will have the added benefit. They can sell this variety across the country, even for export. So there are tremendous potentials. There are tremendous potentials in the villages if we identify the traditional varieties which market is looking for. So there is a huge scope in the farming.
Right. Uh, it makes me so happy, that like in a way that the farmer community is getting benefited with all the things that you're doing. This brings me to few minutes back we were talking about farmer as an entrepreneur, right? Like right now, what farmer does is he just takes care of the production and he just gives it and he just sells it, and he doesn't know what is happening to that produce. And this is why I really love what Abhilash Srinivas is doing, like who's the founder and CEO of Gaustuti, right? Where he is helping farmers build a brand for themselves. He is creating a platform where farmers can sell their produce directly to consumer, which, and I really appreciate his intent of why he's doing this. And I really admire and respect the amount of research that he put into creating the platform Gaustuti. And he really wants to do something for the farmer community. So like I really appreciate people who do that, like you, like him, where like farmer has to think like an entrepreneur. And platforms like Gaustuti and people like you advising farmers, like on board platforms like Gaustuti where they can sell to a wider audience. Holistically it brings uh, like prosperity to the farmer community, and in general it brings prosperity to the entire nation and human beings, right?
Yes. Very true. Because as I said, this if we follow this sustainable farming model, then our farmer, our farmer community will be happy. Our society also will be, farmers will be wealthy. Our society also will be happy because they will be getting very clean food, very unadulterated food. This will fetch happy villages, and happy villages will turn this prosperous nation. Government is also working very well. Last year, you would have read through that the government has targeted around 10,000 farmer producer organizations. What? Same thing. But unfortunately, I should not say, but unfortunately, it's going dead slow because farmers are not responding. But now good thing that lot many people with a lot many tremendous energies are coming to this thing. And if we form farmer producer organizations with 300 members, we can start. And government's vision is to they should do all these activities. That means from this pre-harvest and post-harvest management, they took a help of platforms like Gaustuti at your end and some platforms and some people at Mumbai. And we can give this our pure food, and we can fetch extra premium. And my target is today this organic and all that more amount of labor is involved into that. But our target is after 3 4 years it should be this chemical food and this organic food should be at same price. And I'm sure this will happen, and that will be a breakthrough for us. Today it is very difficult for us to convince the farmer, yes, kindly don't use much chemicals, go for this natural farming, reduce use of these chemicals. Today we are convincing him that, boss, if you do it, what sort of soil you are going to hand it over to next generation? You think of next generation. Don't think for yourself. Okay, you are 50 years. It's a question of 10 more years for you. But what is that you are going to hand it over to your next generation? So we are appealing people like that.
Then when people are getting good organic natural product at the same price as chemical products, which one do you think consumers would choose? Obviously they choose the healthier version, right? And I think this plays a very vital role, like the price point, right? Like from consumers end, if like we Indians are like we are from a third world country, right? Our problems with life are different. And if a common man who goes to job, who has a lot of problem I mean, like in life in general, if he's from a middle class or like lower middle class section, his priority is not about eating organic food. His priority is not about eating healthy food. His priority is, I need to make money, I need to feed all the people in my family. But if the price of the organic produce reduces with people like you and Abhilash with Gaustuti, then obviously people will definitely buy it. So price point is a really really crucial factor for this change to take place.
Yes, yes, yes. We are little selfish for this. Soil organic carbon will increase. If the price is same, we'll ask our farmer go for organic. But then definitely he will go for organic because that
Supply
now he is
demand,
saying that he.
if there is a
Ah,
demand for organic products, then the supply will also have incentive, right? Then the farmer will also have
ah.
incentive to move towards it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like what fascinates me about you and what fascinates me about Gaustuti is the passion and intent, like uh Abhilash wants to do I mean, obviously, if it's a business, you should make profit. But when I talk to him, right, like when I look at him, his priority is to uplift the farmer community. He wants the farmer community to progress. He wants them to make money, and him as a business, his priority is to make money is second or third, if you ask me. And like that surprises me a lot, like even with you, right? Like uh you conduct a lot of workshops with farmers, right? Like you tell them the benefits of why they should take up organic farming, or and like you charge 0 rupees. Like there is
Yes.
honestly there is no financial incentive for you to do that, but you guys are still doing it, and that motivates me, like that gives me hope that, you know what, if people like you and if people like Abhilash are taking up initiative and doing something like this, it gives hope for youngsters like us, which like who has a lot of technological knowledge, who has a lot of technological background. If they collaborate with people like you, and then I cannot imagine the amount of progress that we can make, as Indians or as a human community in general.
Yes, 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 yes. This so far one young fellow he was working with Qatar Airways all the way during 2019 he come. I was requesting him, oh, boss, all the way from Qatar you are coming. His farm was at Assam, and I was not comfortable. But when he came all the way from Qatar, he landed to Nagpur. He came to me by taxi, and he was with me for around 5 6 hours. So at the end of his this thing, I asked him was simple question. I'm asking all the way you have come from Qatar. I really do not know whether it was worth it. Do you know what he says? He says was last 3 years I'm struggling how to start my organic farming. I have lot many books I have gone through, lot many things I have visited, videos I have seen. Few farms also I visited, but these 3 years with you, which I have seen, which I have witnessed, is more than my 3 years. So it gives everything for us. 3 hours of mine, I spent 3 hours with that fellow, but he was so happy. He said that more than 3 years, what I my put in, your 3 hours are
Yeah.
more. And
Your 3 hours is
fortunately,
equivalent to his 3 days of research. Or sorry, three
uh,
years.
three
He's
years,
yeah. Oh my god.
he is in touch with me once in a week, once in a fortnight. He will update me. He take guidance from me. And sitting at Qatar, he is doing farming at Assam. It's very good side. That's that okay. भगवान के पास जाने का तो बोलेंगे कि हाउ मेनी my aim is that at least my target is was by 2015 I must at least 1,000 people must follow me, and those thousand I know that once that change started, now those 1,000 will 10 at least 10 even though that 10 people they educate, it will be 10,000, and that it will take years. It will not happen overnight. But if this chain continues, this present scenario of this farming as a business, loss making and all that, that picture it may get done within a year by 2030.
Right.
So
Right.
it needs to be changed.
Right. We are in the transition period right now, right? Like we are in a
Yes,
phase
yes,
where people like you who are experimenting with a lot of things, who are trying to create a easy medium for farmers to hop on, so that like the ride is smooth. And once the foundation is set, then once the rocket is launched, it just shoots up, right? And like another thing that fascinates me about what you do is the other aspect of sustainability, which is the circular economy, which is like how,
yes,
so in a way you clearly mentioned in a farming there are two phases. One is pre-harvest, one is post-harvest, right? And earlier, like few weeks back, when I had a call with you, when we were talking about it, uh, in terms of adding uh, chemical fertilizers, or in terms of adding like the pesticides, you take up a natural route, right? Like there is a organic element to how you uh, get rid of pests and how you get rid of the other viruses. So could you just talk a little bit about that?
yes, yes, yes. Because that also is as you said, that also is very wide. Because once you say it is very important to demonstrate those who visit us, those who listen to us, because in the back of the mind, everybody that yes, farming is a difficult, and if you ask somebody to go for organic farming, he will outrightly say no because he knows it's very difficult. It's very so it's our prime responsibility. It's our prime job to demonstrate them that no, it is not that difficult as it is being shown. So whenever people comes, we demonstrate what sort of fertilizer we use, how we are making, how we are reducing the cost. So in that, all natural ways we do is like composting of this cow dung. We add lot many things to them so that you can have this natural nitrogen, natural phosphorus, natural potash, all natural way. This is available in your this phosphorus we need to get it from indoor rock phosphate. But other things like paddy husk ash, then whatever weed you have, we compost it. We used to get bacteria cultures. I missed to talk on these bacteria cultures because that is a major concern. Area of concern in today's farming is lack of bacteria in their form. And earlier, there used to be a tremendous. If you take some 1 gram of your soil, it has to have 1 crore of bacteria. But that is not the case now. So again, what has gone wrong, forget. But how to improve upon? So what it does, we used to get bacteria from the labs, like Nagpur is close to me. So I used to get bacteria. I used to multiply at farms in my compost, wherein I'm composting this cow manure and all that. We put it into the manure. So this bacteria will get multiplied. We simply put the bacteria in our soil and their life cycle starts. Our responsibility is to make very healthy atmosphere for bacteria to stay in, and on the contrary, they will work for us 24 by 7. How much time you can work in the farms? 8 hours, 10 hours. But those bacteria, earthworms, all snakes, frogs, biodiversity, they will work 24 by 7 for you. Other thing is here is the farm waste. We is just recycling everything. Paddy we are taking. Then whatever is left out, we are giving back to our soil. And so that is the food for our soil. So that also will enhance the soil fertility. If you do everything natural way, these are the easiest ways we implement at our farms. And coming to this Ayurveda way, so we take the advantage of all these Ruksha, like a green manuring is there. That also Ruksha help of Ruksha Ayurveda. Then, as I said, this Triphala Churn, it clears the toxics in the human body. If you apply in the soil, it will clear the toxic soil toxic. If you are there, it will clear. Various plants are there, like neem trees, maple trees. 12 to 13 herbs are there. We are taking use of that in the form of powder, in the form of botanical extract, which use for repellent of pest from our farms. Also, it gives immunity to our soil, and in turn, that from the soil, that immune power is transferred to plants, and from plants, it get transferred to their fruits. That means crops, and ultimately through crops, that immune system, good human food comes to. So, we are trying to give to society, and for the betterment, for the better health of society. So, with this on this platform, I urge society members to promote these organic farmers, so that I only appeal to you that kindly prefer to go for this organic food, best quality foods, which is excellent for your health.
Right, right. And it's not even that hard, Like all you have to do to make better choices is go to platforms like Gaustuti where you can just or like you can place order and you will get food directly to your home. And there are multiple products on Gaustuti. Like I was looking at Navara rice, like and Navara rice has a lot of benefits. Like it helps with constipation because it has a lot of fiber in it, and since it's considered as mother of all illness, I think like there is a that aspect to Navara rice, right? Like where
It's a Ayurveda rice. In Ayurveda, it is called as a Sashtika rice.
right, right. And Gaustuti has partnered up with farmers where they take this rice directly from farmer, and you can buy goods from Gaustuti. It means in a way you're buying goods directly from farmer. So like there needs to be a shift in the mindset of people, for them to prefer platforms like this, because the aspect of circular economy that I was talking about, waste of one aspect or like one element should be like a nurture to another element, and the waste of this should be nurture to the other element. So in a way there is no waste as such, because there is growth everywhere. Like there is a circular, there is a loop, just like nature, like how cow dung is technically a waste that comes out from cow, right? And it has such a profound value that it nourishes a lot of plants. And in a way, when you look from a broader perspective, all waste is good because it nourishes something or the other. And this aspect is there in your farming also, where you are technically taking products from the farm and taking products from the nature, and the waste products, like you're creating compost, and you're creating uh, like a nourishment to soil, which will give better yield, and better yield will create better opportunities for you. And in a way, this loop is like never ending, it's just a loop of prosperity.
Yes, yes, yes. Certainly, certainly.
So yes, yes. I'd love for people to make this shift, like I'd love for people to uh contact you directly. So I hope, like some of the listeners, if they have any more questions, or if they want to do something in the field of organic farming, I urge them to talk to you. I urge them to stay in touch with you. And I also want people to go check out the platform Gaustuti. I'm gonna give the link to their platform in the description, because I really like the cause of what you guys are doing. So I really appreciate you taking out time, and you doing this. So thank you so much for deciding to do this.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. This will be a, as I said, that is platform like Gaustutis. If there are some platforms in the across the countries, so it is going to help the farmers to the extent possible, because producing is not, it may not be difficult after, but only area of concern is the marketing. It's, if we create much platforms like this, there will be a demand of such product, and once there is a demand is created, we can supply to the extent possible.
Right.
It should be pull system rather than push from. It should not be pushed from farmer. It should be pulled from the platform side. It will be excellent model. You can share my numbers to viewers, and young people are there. Definitely, we are looking for these young people. They should come in the supply chain of this organic farming. We don't want young generation to leave the job and come. We don't want that. We wanted you people, they should be, do the forward market. Backward marketing, we are sitting in the villages. We'll do that. Only you kindly help us on forward marketing to fetch real value, so that we can avoid middlemen. We can fetch better value. We be a part of our supply chain, and you can give prosperity to the farmers, and prosperity farmers once getting, it will be a prosperous villages, and if prosperous villages means prosperous nation. This is what we are looking for.
Every time I talk to you, it just makes me happy, like I just feel like there is a huge age gap between you and me, but we both are friends. Like every time we talk to both of like every time we both talk, I really feel happy about myself for talking to you, because you have so much positivity in you. In whatever you are trying to do, there is a strong cause. And I pray and I wish all the success and more power to you and whatever you're doing.
A Sankarshan Joshi trip.